We are live. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Brad and Mike with Dallas Geek. How y'all doing? So, Mike, how you doing today?
I am tired, Brad. I was, actually, about 10 minutes ago, I got home after helping a friend move all day in the Texas heat in June, up on the 3rd floor of his apartment complex.
So what you're saying is...
It's been a day.
That's why we're late.
That's exactly
You're the cause. You're the delinquent. Got it.
100%. It is always my fault.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. This is a very hot, very bright, but always fun Friday afternoon. Evening, it's all good. And we are here with yet another fun installment of Does It Still Hold Up? But before we dive into it, just to make sure that we do all the necessary shilling for the show, if this is your first time watching us, please do not forget to go ahead and follow us over on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. Always appreciate it. Definitely don't forget to like the video, and if you do not have time to be able to watch the videos of our live streams or the interviews that we do, you can always go check out the audio for that over on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio and Stitcher. So, where
the hell did those graphics come from?
That would be movie magic.
Huh.
Yeah, and we already got Mondo, Heather, and Megan joining us. And of course, Mondo's already giving you a hard time about how pale you are, which, you know, fair.
I gotta get some sun somehow, right? I gotta tan somehow.
I mean, in theory, that's how that works, but, yeah. So, diving right into it, Mike, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the cinematic masterpiece, easily part of the greatest time travel trilogy of all time.
Is it, though?
It's the greatest time travel trilogy of all time, and most certainly is. And you're going to think this is blasphemous? I would argue the greatest trilogy of all time. Yes, I just said it. Deal with it. We're talking about Back to the Future.
You're killing me. You're killing me. No. Copyright.
Oh, right, my bad.
We're not going to infuriate the Google overlords. That's not happening.
What about Power of Love? Is that one okay?
The what? Huh? What?
What about The Power of Love? Can I sing that one? Is that okay?
Ooh, no. On top of the potential of angering the great Google, we definitely don't want yet another white man trying to appropriate that. That's not happening. Wait, no, sorry, that's Huey Lewis. Never mind.
Wow, that's...
We're gonna go ahead and jump into all the fun with Back to the Future.
Oh, so Brad's already already at negative points for that incorrect reference.
We're gonna go ahead and see just how quickly I can make Mike's head go. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Brad. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Is it really a masterpiece? I mean, is Back to the Future honestly a masterpiece that if it was released today, no prior context, no nostalgia, no nothing, would it still be accepted? I'm here to say probably not, honestly. Mike, are we gonna go ahead and jump into the tirade that I'm waiting for?
No. I want you to get out everything that you have to say, Brad. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I mean, honestly, if we're jumping into this, especially dumping into this, which kind of feels appropriate for what I'm about to say. I think there is, while it is a classic that nostalgia holds very dearly for so many of us, I think if it was released today, I honestly don't think a modern audience would appreciate it. I think that a lot of people today would look at Back to the Future and say there's so many parts of it that are incredibly problematic and wouldn't really sit well. Just starting in on the easy part, I don't think Mother Loving would be so well received today as the easy one.
There's a subsection of the internet that would argue with you.
Okay, fair, but it's supposed to be a family film, which that demographic, I get the idea it wouldn't be so well received.
Is it really a family film though?
It's supposed to be family film.
Are we sure about that?
It shows up under the family film category if you're looking it up. So, I mean, if Netflix says it is, I'm going with it.
So does Airplane.
Hey, that is hilarious, okay? I would show that to my kids without question.
You're right, and there's a topless woman in Airplane, Brad. And it was rated PG.
Turn their head.
No, please continue.
I turn my kid's head.
Please.
I don't know. Anyway.
Please, Brad, continue.
No, please. Why do you think that this would be so well received today? I'll let you. No, I'm not done with my arguments, but I want to get your side of this before I go too far off the deep end on this.
Okay, so other than the fact that it is constantly referenced in terms of time travel films, and it has actually influenced pretty much every time travel film that's come after it. Never mind the fact that, as you so eloquently wrote in the description for today's live stream, that it's literally a subplot in what is now, if I'm not mistaken, one of the highest grossing films of all time. It's fun.
Yes, I mean, yeah, sure. But
it is fun. It is. But there's no but. It's fun. It is a fantastically well-made film. The cinematography is great. The script is good. The acting is fantastic. You have two of the most iconic characters of all time in one film.
Okay.
So much so that one of the most popular shows on television right now is literally a knockoff of it.
Sure.
That's all I have to what you've said so far. Please continue.
Okay, fine. How well exactly do you think the Biff storyline would go over with modern audiences?
So, which Biff storyline? Are we talking in Back to the Future Part 2, where Old Man Biff goes back to 1955
we're not
to give
touching
young man
2 and
Biff
3. We're just talking number 1. Just number 1.
So you want to treat one as its own standalone film and not part of the trilogy?
For the sake of this argument, yes. If we were going to be discussing the trilogy as a whole today, I'm not entirely sure we could fit that into a 30-minute show. So
we could.
Really?
I could do 30 minutes on each movie.
Well, yeah, that's kind of my point. But yeah, no.
What do you think?
I think that whole storyline would be very problematic.
The storyline of standing up to your bully and actually coming to, now you can say maybe coming to blows with somebody could be problematic, but the fact that you're standing up to a bully?
Well, the whole, for the sake of, once again, not angering the Google overlords here, the whole set of events that happen out in the parking lot for the night of the dance, and the implication that before he goes back in time, that stuff probably already happened, and now everybody's just accepted that same guy is now the boss of the family patriarch, and afterward he has now been like subdued into the neutered servant of the family, but still around after the attempt. that doesn't really seem like something that would be all that well received. Yet again, I mean, really?
So I guess, so we don't know how that would happen. We don't know how well that would go over, because if you remember, those events didn't happen in the original 1985 that Doc and Marty McFly left from. Those were part of the new timeline that they returned to the 1985 from.
Sure.
So is that an unrational way of the events unfolding? It's possible.
No, but you also got to remember what the immediate jumping to assumptions, modern audience, that would easily be the assumption. That would probably require a lot of debate to try to say differently.
Okay, I can kind of see that argument. I won't share my true thoughts on that. I will just.
Okay. And then what about the whole Chuck Berry thing?
That's a hilarious tie-in, and I know what you're going to say, and quite frankly, I'm over that argument. People need to get the hell over their...
Or the mayor and his suggestion to run for mayor. There's a lot that would require some explaining to a modern audience. Let's be very blunt about that. I mean, you can't say that it wouldn't.
No, I can, because it's entertainment. It's supposed to be a fun film. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for socioeconomic and racial commentary from a film about a teenager that travels back in time using a DeLorean, you're probably looking in the wrong spot, and you need to quit being a bitch.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't warn you ahead of time that was coming. My bad.
Alright.
So, are we going to then talk about how movies like The Goonies wouldn't be well received today because of their objectification of women?
Oh, no. That's a different day's topic, but I feel like it's fair game.
Because they're both Spielberg-produced films. Just saying.
Oh, sure. No, they absolutely are.
If you were looking for social commentary in a film where a kid accidentally travels back in time because Iranian terrorists killed his best friend who stole plutonium from them,
who is a disgraced nuclear physicist.
DeLorean. Huh?
Who is a disgraced nuclear physicist.
He is.
Who's best friends with a high school student that is just never explained. You know, because that... I mean, I'm not even saying that's a problem. I'm just saying... Explain that in a pitch meeting and see studio heads just accept that. I feel like just getting it greenlit, that part alone would be a slight sticking point of just like, what?
So what? The argument can be so the argument can be easily made that Marty McFly is not exactly. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Marty McFly is not exactly presented as the most popular kid in school. So two outcasts that are kind of looked at as being different and weird. I feel like that's a pretty normal, I don't want to say attraction, but a normal friendship, a normal relationship that's built.
I was about to say, if you say attraction there, that's a whole different conversation.
Sure. Yeah, fair. And I'm sure there's some subsect of the internet that would probably find that fun too.
Oh no, there is. There is a whole section of the internet that finds that fun. I can guarantee that's a thing.
Right.
You know, it's the internet. It's all there.
Right. So Brad, I will tell you right now, there is one thing that tells me that this movie would stand up to modern audiences, and it stands the test of time.
Okay.
When did the last film come out?
It's a very good question. Last film was 90.
Okay. And we got a video game that acted as a continuation of the story for the 25th anniversary, right?
Sure.
Okay. That's it.
Okay.
We've had film franchises remade, rebooted, given sequels that they didn't need, that were considered holy ground, or holier. They were considered untouchable. They were considered, it's done, you should make a sequel. Looking at you, Spielberg, Indiana Jones.
I thought you were going to go the Ghostbusters route again.
I'm actually really excited for the third Ghostbusters, especially after the last one left a horrible taste in my mouth.
That's what she said.
Anyway. Wow. It really is after 5 o'clock. But no, so this movie, this franchise, has not been touched in 30 years. Why?
That's a very good question. No need?
Because it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. It told a story from front to back.
Mm-hmm.
It finished the story. It was done.
Yes, but we're not talking about adding in or rebooting. We're saying if it never existed in the first place and now we are tossing it in completely fresh to society for the first time. We're not doing a reboot situation here. That's not... No.
Right, no. But what I am saying is that this film is so iconic that they have literally... It is one of the few things that has not been touched since its release.
Yes.
There hasn't been re-releases with extended footage by their batshit insane creator. Sorry, my bad. Looking at you, Star Wars and Lucas. This film and this franchise is perfect. It has not been touched since.
Okay.
They've done re-releases in theaters. It's played constantly on cable television.
But you're still taking all of this with the perspective of nostalgia is at play. The original mindset is still there for the entire viewing audience.
So what I'm saying, So that's
this whole
exactly
premise
it.
is if that didn't exist, came out fresh today, no prior context.
Exactly. This is a film that hasn't had to be in. They haven't had to modernize it for modern audiences to put it out. They are saying this is the film that we made, and yet there are still generations that are coming after it that love it.
Sure.
Why? Because it is a fantastic film. If you dropped this in theaters today with no context, now, granted with the health issues of pretty much the two most important people involved in the franchise, it would be more than a little difficult to do.
Well, yeah. But that's... I feel like you are really letting nostalgia tint your perspective on this.
I mean, am I? Am I really?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, you're talking about how it was so perfect that it doesn't need a re-release. It's never needed a re-release. I'm saying take it today, completely fresh, with no nostalgia playing in it. Not even adapting it for modern times. Like literally that film. Let's say it was filmed back when it was originally filmed, but never released. Now it's released today. Boom.
Multi-million-dollar. Nope. Oh, you kind of broke up a little bit. Sorry. Multi-million-dollar earning franchise. 100%. If you look at the things that are out now, yes.
Really?
If you look at the wild success of Stranger Things, which wasn't filmed as a nostalgia, or it wasn't filmed as a I remember.
No,
but it was literally filmed as something that took place
necessary.
in a time period. No member berries necessary for Stranger Things. But Stranger Things is the perfect example of something that was just filmed in that time period, and it was just a fantastic story, and people loved it.
Okay.
Same thing.
So, all right, fine. If you are saying that this movie is perfect as is, no adjustments necessary, would you see, if it were to be released completely fresh today, any need for modern adjustments to fit current movie-going appetites? Whether that's changing out the car that's necessary, changing out certain aspects of character arcs, in anything.
Because the movie would still take place in 1985.
Okay, so as Mondo's saying over here in the comments on Facebook, no need to swap out the DeLorean for a Prius.
God, no. Get out of here with that crap, Mondo.
Fair.
It's even an inside joke in the film. Marty McFly watches Einstein get sent 2 minutes into the future by Doc Brown. And he says, "Are you telling me that you just built a time machine out of a DeLorean?"
So, I guess, do you see any way, any reason why there could possibly be a difficulty for the movie with a modern audience if it came out today? Like, any of it? Are you so thoroughly convinced it would be a smash hit right out of the gate?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, there would be backlash from people that are way too overly sensitive and that can't remove the fact that this is entertainment and this is not social commentary. But yes, it takes place in 1985. We go back to 1955. We then go back to the Old West in the third film.
Are we just skipping over the Trump allegory in number 2? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, yeah, that was actually the first case of somebody calling it ahead of time. So somebody
they did it before The Simpsons.
The Simpsons, yes, exactly. No, and look, and I'll be 100% honest with you, and there will be people that will totally agree. Back to the Future Part 2 is my favorite in the trilogy.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like of all of it, number 2 feels the one like it's trying the hardest. Like it's actively trying the hardest. Number 3 feels like its own thing. Number 1 feels very much like its own thing. Number 2 feels like it's just really trying hard to be able to fill in the little bits and pieces that just feel like the natural next steps. But
I get,
like
I see
maybe
that
just
argument,
like
however,
a bit too much.
No, I see that argument. However, there are people that argue that 3 is the one that brings nothing to the table.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've found more people argue that 3 doesn't really bring anything to the table. But for
the lessons that Marty learns are pretty much the exact same that he learned in the last 2. So, from his character arc, it's very redundant.
Right, but 2 also actually... So, what's so great about 2 is that it actually dives even deeper into time paradoxes and what can actually happen and how bad you can actually totally screw things up if you alter the past.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and stop you right there. Actually happen. You do understand that time travel isn't real, right, Mike? These movies aren't documentaries.
So, I understand that these aren't documentaries. However, I am not ruling out time travel. Did you not see the article that they published, I think either last week or the week before, where they found particles in Antarctica that they believe are from a parallel dimension where time is traveling backwards?
Was this in the Inquirer?
No, definitely wasn't the Inquirer. In fact, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and be a little more presumptuous.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead and be a little more pretentious while I look it up.
Sure. Okay. Man, I don't know. I think if this movie were to come out today, yeah, I think you were right about the fact that it doesn't really need modern updates because it would be able to have the same appeal as a Stranger Things. However, I'm still convinced that some of the story bits of the storyline would need to be adjusted to be a little less problematic.
You want them to be more PC because people need their hands held. Got it.
No, not about hand holding. Just about adjusting for modern sensibilities and preferences about what types of stories are and are not necessarily preferred or seen as acceptable by the wider audience for the family-friendly movie. That's it. I mean, when was the last time you saw a family-friendly movie today openly showing a peeping Tom as just a thing? I mean, yes, the movie does very clearly point out that's a bad thing to do, but when was the last time you saw that in a family movie?
So do we want to talk about all of the sexual innuendos in Disney movies?
Hey, Disney does it right. Disney does it in a way that the kids don't notice.
Okay, that's right. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, if you're gonna do something that is innuendo worthy in a family movie, do it the Disney way. Make the joke so that the kids don't notice, but the parents do. You know, or just a little more subtle.
So, the fact that you're okay with them being in modern Disney films tells me that no, you do not have to change any part of the Back to the Future plot. You want to release it today. So what I'm hearing, Brad... Wait, hang on.
Oh, did we find it? Did we find the article?
I actually did. Yeah, it was Scientific America.
Well, that's fair.
It was, the headline is, Bizarre particles keep flying out of Antarctica's ice and they may shatter modern physics as we know it.
Got it. Okay, so clickbaity. Cool.
Well, so, something mysterious... high-energy particle that's blasted its way through space into the Earth and back out again. But the particles physicists know about, the collection of particles that make up what scientists call the standard model of particle physics, shouldn't be able to do that. So they are actually breaking physics. And the theory is that they are coming from a parallel universe where time is actually running in reverse. It's just a theory. A game... Oh, no, wait, that's something different, sorry.
Wow. I mean, this is the internet, so appropriate reference, but still, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought it was a funny. But no, Back to the Future is perfect. It is the greatest trilogy of all time. If anybody wants to argue, you know where to find me. Prepare for a smackdown.
So, okay, do you have any other comments on this? Any other arguments to support your side?
I think I've said everything that I need to say about it.
I'm actually kind of surprised that at no point during this have you ever said anything in reference to the, your reverence of Zemeckis and or just flat out insulted me for questioning him. I'm kind of surprised.
I was going to call you a ignorant slut.
Wow. Okay, we're going there. Got it.
I mean, hey, it's a fantastic classic Saturday Night Live skit. But no, I didn't even need to. So that's just it too. I didn't even need to bring up Zemeckis and how the man is responsible for classic after classic after classic. I can name a few if you'd like.
Does your lack of Zemeckis references have anything to do with the fact that you know David would give you absolute hell if you blathered on too long about how wonderful he is?
Probably.
Fair.
I mean, the man does have 2 movies in my top 20 of all time.
Sure, okay. Which 2?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Back to the Future. I didn't even say Forrest Gump.
Respectable. Wait, Forrest Gump isn't in your top 20? How dare you? I mean, I know it's the snob answer to say that Forrest Gump is part of your top 20, but still, how dare you?
I know. It's a fantastic film.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? That's one movie that I think it's safe to say is probably never going to make it into this series, because why question it? It's Tom Hanks, Spielberg, Zemeckis. Don't touch it. Oh, and of course, John Williams. Don't touch it.
Did Spielberg produce Forrest Gump?
Could have sworn.
I don't think he did.
And it says...
Brad, you ignorant slut. Wrong again.
Nope, wait. So Zemeckis, you sure?
Yeah, looking at it right now.
Huh, go figure. Okay, well with that, I think we have officially gone off on enough of our tangents.
And I think you said John Williams? Yeah, no, Alan Silvestri.
Yeah. I realized it as soon as I said it.
So Brad?
Yep.
As my intellectual inferior,
wow.
I believe that I just proved that yet again.
I made two bad references that were immediately corrected, and that automatically makes me your intellectual inferior. I'm
just saying, if you're gonna bring if you were gonna bring weak trash and weak sauce into my kitchen, this is what happens.
You know, let's go ahead and let the comments decide. Okay, should have really started with this, but question of the day, guys. Down in the comments, tell us what you guys think. Do you think that Back to the Future would survive in today's movie landscape, or do you think it would just come and go and, you know, be a thing? Tell us what you think in the comments, and please tell Mike just how wrong he is. Because, you know, this time he's actually around to defend himself, so he absolutely deserves it. But with that, guys,
so
thank
Brad,
you all
just really quick,
so much. Yes.
If Trolls can make $345 million,
I still choose not to acknowledge that that's how much they made.
Back to the Future can at least do that.
I still have a hard time acknowledging that Trolls made that much, because friggin' Trolls, man. Which I do realize there are a lot of people out there, clearly, that would disagree with me on that one, but alright. With that, though, guys, seriously, thank you all so much. If you've made it this far, we absolutely appreciate it. Once again, if this is your first time watching, do not forget to go over and like us over on Facebook, subscribe over on YouTube, and of course, please share us with your friends. We absolutely love hearing from you and your thoughts, but we would love just as much to be able to hear from your friends and their thoughts on this, because the more people we can get in on the conversation, the better. Also, don't forget, if you are into listening to us instead of watching us, you can go check out the audio from all of our live videos and our interviews over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, and of course Stitcher.
How are you doing this?
Magic.
When was I in Berlin?
With that,
Don't Just remember, October 21st, 2015, I was there.
With that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, I'm Brad. That's Mike. We're Dallas Geek. And we will see you next time.